So welcome to a video of this 2011 Mitsubishi I-Miev, and it's not windy, so I don't have to shout, so hopefully my sound will be okay. So this is a one owner car. I bought this off a customer who I've sold vehicles to in the past because he had his Tesla Model 3 to replace it. So this is a one owner car, and this was also subject of a video that I'll put a link into now, talking about how I got this back on the road. So let me talk you through the basics. I've got one remote key. If we double click the lock, it bends the mirrors in. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And then double click, one click to unlock or double click, and it'll open the mirrors up for you as well. So these are 4-door electric cars. Back seats fold down flat, two seat belts in the rear with Isofix as well. Could benefit for some mats. We've got the Type 1 to Type 2 cable for fast chargers, and also the Mitsubishi Granny cable is here as well. When I mean granny cable, I mean a 3-pin plug. It's done the miles, done 69,000 miles. It's been in the wars, there's some dinks, there's some dents. It's not perfect, but this is priced to sell. A lot of people think the electric cars are too expensive, but this is priced to sell, as I've just said. So let's get in and have a look. Door cards with 4 electric windows, as you saw, remote central locking. Driver's seat is height adjustable as well. So, key goes in the ignition, I can see it, foot on the brake, turn and hold, wait for a beep beep, and there we go, we're running. 69,468 miles, and with this little trip here, we could scroll around trip A, trip B, the brightness of the dashboard lights, and then there's the guesstimated range showing 39 miles. Now it's not fully charged as denoted by all those blocks there, but I'm seeing around 44-45 miles on a full charge, which is not bad for nearly a 10-year-old vehicle. It's got a ridiculous CD player, very fancy sat-nav, and all the gubbins are in there. I'm going to replace this with a normal basic CD radio, because to turn it on, it doesn't always turn on, and then to change the volume you've got to use this remote, which is quite ridiculous because the screen, oh there we go, it has decided to start up. So you can see what I mean. You press source, the radio does work, press OK. I don't know why I'm showing you this, because I'm going to replace it because it's extremely annoying. I expect this was quite expensive in its day. It takes a while to boot up, and then you can change stations with that button and then control the volume with the up and down. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell any more on that. I'm going to replace this with just a basic radio. One owner from new, so there was no previous keepers. Registered there February the 18th 2011, Mitsubishi I-Miev. 0 to road tax, of course. MOT is until the 23rd of June 2021, and the advisory was brake disc worn, pitted or scored, but not seriously weakened. It's just basically it's been standing for so long and it just needs to be run, and then those discs will be nice and clean. All the manuals are here that came with the car when it was new, including a recall campaign. So the EV charge cables were replaced, and the 1st of February 2019 they replaced the passenger airbag assembly, which I knew was a recall on the I-Mievs. 2 stamps in the book, one at 38,000 in 2014 and one at 61,000 on November 2016. Basically a service is the same as an MOT, so obviously it's MOTs. All the original documents, etc. are here as well. So yeah, it's a genuine, well-used car. With the I-Miev, you get extra settings. Now with the C0, you have park, reverse, neutral and drive. But on the Mitsubishi version, they had B, which is for extra engine braking, and C for cruise. And that also comes up on the dashboard as well. You can see there C, and then you get B, and you get D, and we have neutral, reverse and park. This is actually on all the Peugeot Ions and Citroen C0s. They just have a plate that stops there. But if you get a Mitsubishi selector and drill some holes in the plastic underneath this, you can actually find these extra settings. A lot of owners of C0s and Peugeot Ions have done that. Normal heater controls, 12 volt power point down there, and as I mentioned earlier, I've got power folding electric mirrors, adjustable, all the normal things, power assisted steering, automatic lights, and I've got the normal wiper arrangement front and rear. So yeah, everything works really well. It even tells me when I've left the keys in and running. So we'll take you for a little drive, and then we'll have a quick walk around the car. So let's go for a quick drive. So again, foot on the brake, turn and wait for a beep. Release the key, car is on. Foot on the brake, take the handbrake off. Again with your foot on the brake, pull it from P all the way down to D for drive. Like all automatics, if you release the brake, your foot brake, you will start to creep. And so there's no throttle being used, it's just creeping. That's like any normal automatic. So, of course the great thing about an EV is if you can't see around the corner, if you just wind your window down, you're not making any noise so you can hear any cars coming. Even electric ones, because you still hear the road noise from the tyres. Anyway, there we go. Drives lovely and straight. 32, 33 miles an hour. It still goes. And the little needle on the dashboard, you're either in the green zone, which is the eco zone, which tells you when you're driving correctly. Once you accelerate, the red needle will go all the way over to the right hand side to give you all the beans. And then when you come off the accelerator, it goes into the charge zone, which is regen braking, which means you harvest some of that energy and put electricity back into the battery, basically. So there we go, cheap and cheerful. It was too good to throw away, to be honest, just needed a serious amount of bodywork. So as you've seen from the video, I'll put a link in again now. We dropped the battery pack, we had all the welding done, new shock absorbers, dampers on the back, and all undercoated, wax oiled and protected underneath. Some of these early Mitsubishi I-Mievs, along with C0s and Peugeot Ions, they were susceptible to rust, basically. So if you are thinking of getting one of these, just check out underneath. It's not impossible, but there is an expense in obviously dropping the battery pack and having all that welding done and undersealing. But it drives lovely. Ideal if you're doing the UK average of 22 miles a day, then this with a range of 45, 43, 44, 45 miles is ideal. Really, really is. So huge savings. Got solar panels, you can charge it off the solar panels at home. Now, if you've got one of the new modern car chargers, then this you can set it to charge at a cheap rate. No clonks on full lock, and yeah, it's like any modern EV. You get that instant torque. They're great, just great to drive. So there we go. So let's go back now and have a quick walk around this car. So welcome back from the drive. So if you're expecting a perfect car, let's talk to you. This isn't perfect. This is a used, nearly 10-year-old Mitsubishi I-Miev. So I have restored it, got it back on the road, made it roadworthy, but it's not in sort of concourse condition. So I'm going to point out all the faults. So I've got some scratching to the front there. The alloys have all started to blister, which is common on these. A very decent recent Dunlop tyres on the front. We've got scuffs and chips and marks all down the side. We've got some sort of the paint sort of reacting a little bit there. Again, a good polish might take some of that out. I had 2 new rear tyres for the MOT because they were cracking, the old ones were, and again the alloy is showing a little bit of surface corrosion. I had the rear bumper repainted because that was a real mess. We've got dinks and dents, another brand new tyre on the back. Again, I've got scuffs and marks, little dink there, some marks on the door. So it's not perfect, but it's a very usable electric vehicle. And again, we took off the locking wheel nuts as well, so they're just normal wheel nuts, and some grazing and scuffing and blistering to that alloy at the front. Windscreen's chip free, got a bit of corrosion on the wiper arm. Inside, there's no undue odours. The seats are really nice, no rips or tears. Could benefit with some proper floor mats and all 4-foot wells. But again, this is a used car, used electric car, that's priced to sell. Alright, so details are on the website. Ideal Northern Isles car. So here on Orkney we have some isles that are really small, perhaps 5-10 miles. This to suit the Northern Isles, so North Ronaldsay, Papa Westray. But if you want this south, we can arrange for it to be sent on the Aberdeen boat down to Aberdeen from Orkney, and then my good friend Alex of A&J Transport can put this on his truck and deliver it anywhere in the UK. Obviously there'll be an extra cost in with that, which I can quote you for. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.